Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at a few holiday releases. We're going to be taking a look at Givenchy Holiday. I picked up the eyeshadow palette and the new loose highlighter. Then I also picked up one of the new Westman Atelier little kits. So Westman Atelier has just released their holiday sets on their website. Right now they're exclusive to their website. They will be available at other retailers later, but I picked up the one with the mini blush, the mini mascara, and the mini lid up stick. And then I also bought the two new Bisou Balms from VLFR. This is one of my favorite sheer matte lip looks. In general, they give you kind of that blurred finish very easily, very comfortable. They feel more like a matte lip balm. Well, that's what they are. And she released two new cooler tone shades. So let's go ahead. Let's start off with the Westman Atelier. Now, sometimes when you purchase the Westman Atelier gift sets for a holiday, they come in some really nice boxes. This is going to be one of the sets of minis, so it does come in just like a regular cardboard box. And I have to say though, I really love this little set. So there are two different mascara formulas that Westman Atelier has. There's the I Love You and the I Want You. The I Want You is the more recent formula, and that's the one that I personally really like. So this is a mini version of the I Want You mascara, which I have purchased it a couple of times in brown. This one in the set comes in black. You can see it's a nice black. And this is going to be a nice, subtly volumizing mascara. You're not going to get crazy volume with this, but you do get a little bit of length, a little bit of volume. It's the kind of, emphasis that I like. It's perfect for every day, but you can definitely add on a little bit more. Now we're going to take a look at the two other minis, but first take a look at the shades together of these products. I love it. So I just think it's really cute. We have two little minis. We have a mini blush stick, and this is the shade Bubble. So this is going to be a new limited edition shade. Now, sometimes with these holiday kits, we get a new shade from Westman Atelier that ends up coming out as like a website exclusive or something the following year. That's what happened with the shade Mimi, that's probably my favorite of the Westman Atelier blushes. This one here is Bubble, and you can see it has a little bit of a shimmery radiance to it. So it's more metallic. You don't see actual glitter chunks in it, but you do see a metallic reflection to that. And I think it's a really pretty shade. I actually really like it. I think this finish is great for holiday. Then we have the lid up stick in Toast. And you can see just by looking at this stick, you can see glitter on it. So this is it built up. This is just one swipe. If you were to smooth that out a little bit, you can see you can go very subtly with this. Now, we do have glitter in this that you can see in the stick, but on the skin, it's pretty finely milled. You can see a little bit of it, but it's definitely not big and chunky like we have seen with the Peau de Rosé cream highlighter. So, just something a little different. There is going to be shimmer, but it is very, very finely milled. Let's take a look at the demos for these products while we talk a little bit about this set. This set is called the Petite Fête Edition. It retails for $60 US, and right now it is only available at the Westman Atelier website. It's described as mini travel ready sizes for a pop of color, touch of sparkle, and pitch black lashes. This is a limited edition trio of cream blush, highlight, and mascara. We have two new shades, a fan favorite Baby Cheeks blush stick and lit up highlight stick for a flush from within pop of color with a facial fresh glass skin finish. Says take your lashes from natural to full and fluttery with our first ever mini I Want You mascara for volumizing payoff that doesn't clump or flake. The mascara has 4.5 milliliters of product. The blush stick has 2.5 grams of product, and the highlight stick also has 2.5 grams of product. Both the blush and the highlight stick have an 18-month shelf life, while the mascara has the standard 6-month shelf life. And the blush and the highlight stick are made in Italy. I actually can't see specifically where the mascara is made. Overall, I think this is a really cute holiday trio. It's festive. You've got great shades that you can use year round, but they have a little something extra with more of that metallic vibe. for something a little bit more holiday ready. And I think this makes a great gift for yourself or somebody else. Let's take a look at some comparisons. Let's start off with the blush. I'm just gonna put the shade Bubble right down here, and then we're gonna swatch the other shades in the Westman Atelier blush line. Now, this is the shade Doo Doo, which is going to be a bit more of a warmer berry. You can see there's a bit more red in there. This shade Bubble has a little bit more purple in it. We have the quintessential Petal, which is going to be more of your, more of a nude pink shade. Minette is a soft peach with a little bit of shimmer to it. And you can see it does have more of that brighter hue to it. Pop It is going to be a nice bright fuchsia pink. My personal favorite, Mimi. This is going to be much more of a nude shade here with a touch of rose in it. But you can see we definitely have a much more brown base. There's a little peach and a little rose mixed in. This is Chouchette. Let's go ahead and put that one right here. And this is going to be a nice nude peach. So definitely different from Minette. Minette has sparkle. This one doesn't. You can see it's much more nude. We have more brown in there. We have Garçon, which is going to be a nude shade. This is a nude mauve shade. And let me just extend the bubble swatch. And I do want to note that these minis have a click closure, whereas the full sizes are magnetic. So the minis are not magnetic. We have this shade Coquette, which is going to be a nice peach. It's kind of in between the Chouchette and the Minette. Again, no sparkle with this one. And then last up, we have Bichette, which is a really great kind of rusty red shade, like a rusty brick red. So those are all of the Westman Atelier blushes. And right now, the only way to get Bubble is through this set. So I hope these are helpful. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lid up sticks. So I'm going to try and squeeze these in right underneath because I don't have as many of these. So this is going to be the shade Toast. And it's definitely harder to swatch the highlighters since they are going to be more sheer, but you can definitely see that glitter and that shimmer. And it's got a little bit of a nude brown base, but there is a touch of rose. So let's start off with the Petal lid up stick. And this is actually my favorite of the lid up sticks that I have. I use this one the most. It was a limited edition during one of the holiday kits, but you can see this is truly a pink shade. We have the lid up stick in Biscuit here. And you can see that Biscuit is going to be a little bit warmer than Toast. And it doesn't have the glitter in it. This is the original shade. I'm just going to put this here because it doesn't go with that. But you can see this is like clear with a little bit of a blue and pink reflect to it. So this is the shade Lit. I just have two more here. So we have Nectar, which we'll put right here. And this is going to be a soft peach. And then Brûlée, which is a deeper brown. You can see it's got a little bit more red in it than Toast. Toast definitely is more like nude pink. So these are the lid up sticks that I have. I hope these are helpful. I do really like this set. I think this is a really nice set and definitely no regrets. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the new Givenchy Holiday palette. This is number 914. Let's go ahead and swatch these. And these are really beautiful shades. I have to say, I thought this palette was going to be super warm. It's definitely a warm palette, but it's not as warm as I thought it was going to be. So it has a nice balance. We have some warmer shades here, definitely like the second shade and this redder shade here. The middle shade is this icy blue, really pale blue. And then we have kind of this brighter blue. And one of the great things about these metallic finish shadows in here is that they're really easy to either have as a very light sheer shade and kind of buff those out or build them up to this level of intensity. I think the formula is really easy to use. It's very creamy. Let's take a look at the eye swatches and the demos. This palette is limited edition for the holidays. It's number 9.14. We have a 6-month shelf life, which is standard for the Givenchy eyeshadows. It's made in Italy. We have 8 grams of product. And one of the great things about this is it does come with 2 little utensils here. And the utensils actually You know, they're your regular short length, but you can snap them together to have a dual-ended brush that's a little bit longer. So I think that's always a nice touch, just because, you know, you might like something a little longer at sometimes. So very nice palette. The textures in here, everything is very creamy and easy to use. And I have to say, I think the formulas in here are really great. You know, if you love Givenchy eyeshadows, you know, you won't be disappointed with these. I think they're so creamy, so easy to use. As we're looking at all the shades, we do start off with kind of this peachy champagne shade. It's definitely going to be a bit more of a soft peach though. And then we move into this kind of like a dirty mustard tan shade, and that's going to be more of a matte. And then we have this really beautiful taupe. It's a more brownish taupe. So when you build that up, you have a little bit more of a cooler overtone, but when you really sheer that out, you get a little bit warmer. So the base on it is going to be a little bit more brown. Then we have this beautiful rusty brick red, and I think it's gorgeous. It's a satin finish, followed by this light icy blue, which it's stunning. Then we have the metallic blue, the deep metallic royal blue. And I think this is such a beautiful shade. And I'm really glad that Givenchy put this one in the palette, because I think it's a little bit different from what we've usually seen from them. We have a nice rich cocoa satin. This is going to be a cooler tone brown. And then we have a little bit more of a deeper peach satin shade. So it's very similar to the first shade in the palette, but just a deeper intensity. And then the last shade is more of a matte black with silver shimmer in it. So overall, I think it's a really beautiful palette, super easy to use. And I have to say, I really like it. So let's take a look at a few comparisons. All right, so one of my favorite Givenchy palettes is this one, 9.12, which is actually a permanent palette now. And we're just gonna go ahead and swatch some of these shades here. I'm gonna put them right here just to kind of see how close they are. And you can see that the first two shades here are going to be pretty similar to these from the holiday palette. Let's take a look at this middle shade, see how this compares with the second shade here. Again, it's similar. It's not quite as yellow though. And then this isn't gonna be shimmery, but this is gonna be a deeper brown. So similar, but no, this is a little bit lighter and it's got that shimmer in there. So I think that one's pretty different. But those shades are going to be pretty similar from the 9.12 palette. Now, this was a holiday palette from a few years back, number 9.07. And let's go ahead and see how these compare. So I'm going to start off with the first shade here, and we'll put that one right here to see how that compares to the deeper brown. Again, similar shade, lacking the shimmer there, but let's take a look at this one here and see how that one compares. This one does have shimmer, but it's going to be warmer, and you can see it definitely has a golden hue to it. We're going to take a look at this peachy shade, and let's see how that compares to this one. Oh, wow, it's much more orange in comparison. And I wanted to take a look at this more red shade here. And it's not really going to match this one too well because it does have more orange in it. It's definitely more copper. So that's a 9.07. And then this is 9.08. So this was out again a few years ago. We're going to take a look at a lot of these here. So this here is the matte black, but you can see it's really more of a deep charcoal in the 9.08. We have kind of this gold hue here. I'll put that one right here because it's not going to quite match. It's definitely more yellow. Let's take a look at this shade and see how this compares to the red. That's pretty similar to the one from the 9.07, but it's got even just a touch more orange in it than that one. So definitely different from this year's. Let's take a look at the one here though on the bottom and see how that one goes. This one, yeah, you know, it's more burgundy. Let's take a look at this shade down here, and I'll put this up here. I'm not really sure. It kind of has a similar vibe, but we don't have a color that's quite a match. And then let's take a look at this soft brown shade here. And No, it doesn't really go with any of those either. So those are my comparisons for the Givenchy, but I also wanted to take a look at the Byredo Mineralscapes palette. So here's Mineralscapes, here is 9.14. You can see overall, these don't look like they're going to have a huge, you're going to get similar vibes, but not the exact matches. Let's take a look at this blue. And I'm going to squeeze this in right here. So you can see we have more teal in the Mineralscapes. Let's take a look at this shade right below it and see how this compares with more of these softer peaches. We'll put that right here. Oh, it's more golden. We'll look at this one right next to it and put that right here. That's going to be, it's more peach than the one in the Givenchy. We definitely have more of a true peach shade there. Here's this shade here, but I don't think that's gonna match. Not quite the right tones here. Let's take a look at this taupey shade here and the one right next to it. And see how these compare. I'm just gonna put them down here so we can kind of take a look. But you can see these are gonna be cooler in tone. This one is fairly similar, but much more gray. And this one is much too light. And I think that's it for those comparisons. So let's take a look at the Givenchy highlighter for the holiday. Now, they also have some lipsticks that are out for the holiday, but I decided to pass on those. So you can see we have the mirrored top that we get with the blushes, and we have kind of a glittery Givenchy logo. The highlighters always have 4 quadrants, but 2 shades. So you can see those more up close in the demo. I'll show you that in just a minute, but let's go ahead and just swatch these. I have to say, I really like this shade, and we're gonna put it right here. Look at that. Let me just kind of buff this out a little bit here. I think it's a really pretty highlighter shade. Let's move to the demo. So what I like about this highlighter is you get a little bit of a pink vibe to it, but it's warmer than that. It's almost like a pink champagne when you blend that out. And when you really pile it on, you see more of that pink champagne with some ivory. And I just think it's a really beautiful combination. I'm really happy with the highlighter. The highlighter does come with a puff, but I personally don't like to use these highlighters with a puff. It's way too intense for me. But this is going to be shade number 14. It is limited edition and it retails for $47 US. It's made in Italy with a 1-year shelf life. We have 4 shades at 1.5 grams each for a total of 6 grams. This is described by Givenchy as the perfect combination of an iridescent pink blush and slightly silvery highlighter for a luminous adjustable finish. Now, I don't find enough pink in here to use this as a luminous blush for me, but to pair it with a blush and, go over your blush area with it does give you a really nice finish, or to just use it straight up as a highlighter. And I think it's a really beautiful shade. So in the demo, I showed it to you built up a little bit more by using the Surratt highlighter brush and then using the Kyoto Premium Fan Brush, which is very wispy for a lighter finish. And then for today's look, I actually ended up pairing this. I have this on the eyes, but I also paired it with the Westman Atelier products, which I think goes really nicely because I love that, that more pink highlighter from the Westman Atelier kind of right there on the apples. And then just kind of blending into the Givenchy shade. I think the two of them go very nicely together because this is a little bit more subtle, a little bit more silvery as well. And they make a really nice gradation. So let's take a look at the other Givenchy holiday highlighters that have come out in the past. This is number 10, Organza, Organza Or. And this one here is going to be, you can see here, this is much deeper. We have a deeper pink and a gold hue to it. And I'm just going to put this one vertically here so you can see this is really much more of a deeper gold highlight. I like that one, but I had to use a very light hand, so I end up not really using that too much. This one here, I think this was a spring shade. This is number 13. So this is the one that came out right before that. And we have more of a soft champagne with a brighter bubblegum pink. And this is a really beautiful soft pink overall. I really like this one. This one I can actually build up enough to use as a blush. And the pink shades here are not shimmery, but the champagne shades are. So for me, this works a little bit better as a luminous blush. Whereas here, these are all shimmery in this year's highlighter. And then this one here is number 11. And this one combines pinks. So we have medium pink and a lighter pink here. And you can see these are all going to be luminous. So we have a lot more radiance than we did with shade 13. So this is 10, 13, 11. And then this year's is 14. I have to say, out of all of these though, as a straight up as a highlighter, I think that this 14 is my favorite. I think that's the one I'm going to end up using the most. And yeah, I really like it. I think it's a really nice holiday highlighter. So I hope those were helpful. Let's go ahead and move on to the new Violette FR Balms. So the Violette FR Bisou Balms, these are going to be a blurring matte lip balm. And you can put them on very sheerly or build them up. We have click closure here. We have the Violette FR logo up here. And we have two new shades. So one on my lips right now is this one, Bon Bon Myrtille. And I have to say, I love this. This is going to be the coolest tone one. You can see this is going to be a cool rose, and I think it's a really pretty shade. The other one that came out is Rose Latte. This one's going to be a little bit warmer. And you can see it's still a really beautiful, more of a strawberry pink. Really, really pretty. So I would say if you had to pick fruits, raspberry versus strawberry. So let's take a look at the lip swatches. These balms are only available on the Violette FR website, and I want to make sure these balms are only available at the Violette FR website. They retail for $29 US each. However, if you go and you take a look at their sets, they have a few different set options with, choosing 2 or 3, and you get a discount purchasing multiples, but they're customizable. So you can select which shades you want. And I think that's really key when you're purchasing a set. So I purchased these as a set of 2 for $52.20. They have a set of 3 for $78.30. So we have 2.5 grams of product in these. There's a 2-year shelf life, and they're made in Italy. And I have to say, I love the Violette FR Bisou Balms. They are a go-to for me. I typically carry one in my handbag. And I just think they're great. These colors are exactly what I've been waiting for. My favorite is definitely the Bon Bon Myrtille, and this is going straight in my handbag after filming because this is a go-to shade for me. Let's take a look at the other lip balms in this collection. So I must have one in my purse because I have all of the shades, but I only have 5 here. So there are 6 other shades for a total of 8. And this one here is Bon Bon Coquelicot, which is the newest one until now. And well, this is a red, so we'll put this one here. You can see this is kind of a neutral / warm red. I think it's a really beautiful red, and it's described as a red for people who don't wear reds. So Amour Fou, this is my personal favorite red. This is going to be your cooler cherry tone red. And I think this is a great introduction to a cool tone red as well. It's a favorite of mine personally. Suzette, this is a favorite shade of mine as well. And I want to put this one right up here because it is going to be, it's pretty similar to the new Bon Bon Myrtille. Let me swatch that really close to it here so you can see those together. The difference is the new Bon Bon Myrtille isn't as bright. It's got a little bit more mauve in it. It's more muted. So it's not as bright of that bright raspberry pink. It's definitely a bit more muted. I really love both options. Calisson, this is the first one I purchased. And this is going to be a nude shade here. I think it's a really pretty shade. Now these, the shades do sell out fairly frequently. Batiste This was one that I tried to get as my first shade when I originally purchased, but it was always sold out. You can see this is going to be a warm nude rose. So kind of like your warmer dusty rose, another beautiful, great shade. And it's pretty neutral, but it leans a little warm. So the last shade is called Guimauve, and I will have a video linked down below that shows all of these other shades together, but Guimauve is probably in my handbag right now, but it is going to be like a soft peach shade. Really beautiful, great, like everyday, you don't have to think about it kind of shade to put on. So I hope this was helpful. I really love these shades. Let's do a quick summation of everything we looked at. So we start off with the new Westman Atelier mini set for the holidays. I have to say, I really like this set. I think it is a good set to purchase. We've got 2 new limited edition shades. Whether these will come back in the future, we don't know. So, you know, if I actually ask customer service, what they tell me is, you know, oh no, it's not going to be coming back. But then sometimes they do. So we won't know. It kind of depends on the public's response to these shades and so forth. So sometimes they do bring these back in the future, either as a permanent shade or as an exclusive, you know, for a period of time. Maybe we'll see them as full sizes in the future. Who knows? But you can't count on that. So if you love these colors, I'd recommend picking up the mini set. The mascara is good. And both of these minis are really awesome. I particularly love the blush. I think the highlight stick is really pretty as well, but the blush for me is my favorite piece of that trio. Then we took a look at the new Givenchy 9.14 palette. And I was kind of on the fence with this because I really wanted to pick this up because of the blue, but I thought the other shades looked so warm in the photos. And I'd say it's actually a pretty 50-50 mix of cool and warm shades in the palette. And I think we've got a really nice balance here. So, and I love how we have kind of this more prominent rusty red for a warm shade and this more cobalt blue for a cool shade. I love how we have like a deep pop of color in on each side of the spectrum. So I think it's a really well done palette. The shadows are creamy and easy to use. I think Givenchy really nailed it with this and the highlight for this year. This is my favorite of the loose powder highlighters from Givenchy. I really like this shade. I think this is a great shade. So I'm very happy with the Givenchy items. And can't forget the new Violet FR Balms. So this one here, the Bon Bon Mertiel, is my favorite, which is this shade here, or this one here. Just a little bit lighter there. And then we also have the Rose Latte, which I think is a great shade, a little bit warmer. So we have a cooler option and a warmer option. I really like both of them. So overall, everything here today was definitely well worth the purchase. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching.